President Joe Biden just said that America will cut off their military aid to Israel if they go on an offensive into Rafah, which Israel needs to do to root out the final Hamas battalions. Ben Shapiro responded to Biden's obscene comments with a very poignant commentary. Here's what Ben said. He said, the predictable results of Biden's disgusting weapons cut-off threat. Number one, Hamas refuses any deal. The hostages, including Americans, remain. Hamas knows they've got Biden on their side. 2, Israel must go into Rafah because of 1. 3, Biden is cutting off targeted munitions, which means more civilians will die when 2 happens, Israel goes into Rafah. 4, Biden's threat will embolden Hezbollah to open up in the north, which makes broader war more likely, not less. All of this will forestall Saudi normalization while endangering Israel on multiple borders. Biden isn't just a moral blot, he's a moron. And then he said, the fact that Biden tried to keep this a secret long enough so he could give his crocodile tears speech about how much he cares about the Holocaust, which he did just the other day on Holocaust Memorial Day, and understands October 7th, it's just vile. And I think Ben captures it perfectly, but I want to share with you a graphic that we posted on JTV where we said, look, Israel does not have American support. Israel has American dependence. Conditional support isn't support. And the caption that I put was this very critical point that we now need to come to recognize, which is those who said we just need to appease America because we are totally reliant on them, but we can maintain their support for allowing us to do what we need to do if we dance to their tune a little bit. Those who said that have been proven wrong today. People say, well, if Israel goes too hard, if Israel doesn't supply aid to an enemy territory, if Israel doesn't dance to the tune of their American suppliers, then they're going to not get their support. Well, guess what happens? It turns out that when we do supply aid, when we do try to be as surgical as possible, where our soldiers, our people have to suffer and die to protect the civilians who the vast majority of which want all of Israel dead, and all the Jews dead. Try doing all that, and now what happens? The theory has been proven false. America says, Biden says, we're not allowing you to do the absolutely essential thing that you need to do, which we thought if we dance to their tunes, they'd allow us to do, which is to go into Rafah to finish off the mission. And they're saying it's going to be conditional. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Congress say absolutely not over my dead body. But what we're seeing happening is all the false paradigms, the illusions, the false gods collapsing, shattering. The question is, are we opening our eyes to see it? This notion of we have American support, no we don't, we have American dependence. And how about just doing what we need to do to protect ourselves? And if they don't want to support us, well, we have to protect our people. You have to do what you need to do to protect your people. And if we can't do the basic things to protect our people, then we don't have their support and we'll find another way to deal with it. And quite frankly, by the way, it's America, I do not think, will abandon Israel because they need Israel too. Because Iran and Hamas and Hezbollah are enemies of America just as much. Israel's just the first pit stop. But whether it's that false paradigm, the paradigm of a two-state solution and that will solve all the problems, the paradigm of it's just the Hamas terrorists, but the vast majority of the Palestinians, they are simply suffering victims. And if they just had a bit of hope, a bit of moral, a bit more agency, then everything will be fine. No, we've seen that there's vast majority support among the Arabs for October 7th, that this really is not going to work with a two-state solution because this really was always about just not tolerating any Jewish state. All these paradigms are collapsing. They're shattering. This notion that the Western media are in any way fair. You know, we saw the obsession, the magnified focus on Israel when they accidentally hit those aid workers. A tragic accident. But when Hamas fire rockets and kill Israeli soldiers at the Kerem Shalom crossing, to allow aid in, because Israel's trying to allow aid in, the world doesn't care. And then when they shut the border, the world has a hissy fit, and America says open it up again. And they open it up again, and more rockets just in the last few days were hit by Hamas at the Israelis. And no one cares. And then at the start of the war, they said Israel hit a hospital, and it turned out it was actually Islamic Jihad. And while they thought it was Israel, the world went hysterical. And then when they found that it wasn't Israel, well, no one cares. All the false paradigms are collapsing, are shattering before our eyes. The notion that it's just about Israel, it's not really the Jews. Have you seen what's happening on campuses? The National Union of Students voted to expel the Union of Jewish Students today in Britain. Not the Union of Zionist Students, not the unions of Israel supporters, the Jewish students. What's happening with Biden, is just another example of false paradigms collapsing. And to that I say, good. It's time for Israel to just do whatever she needs to do and see if we have any friends left at the end. Thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.